The United States of America, in the early 1860s, was a nation at a crossroads. The fabric of the nation was torn by conflicting ideologies, and the very definition of freedom hung in the balance. On one side, the northern states had embraced industry, commerce, and a vision of free labor. On the other side, the southern states remained deeply rooted in the institution of slavery, viewing it as essential to their economy and their way of life. This was a nation divided, and the conflict that followed would become the most devastating in its history. By 1861, decades of mounting tensions had erupted into open conflict. The American Civil War had begun. Families, neighbors, and states were split. Brothers fought brothers. The war was not only a military confrontation but also a moral battle, pitting freedom against oppression, equality against systemic injustice. And at the heart of this conflict, the question of slavery became the defining issue. Slavery had existed in North America for more than 2 centuries. Millions of African Americans had been captured, transported across the Atlantic, and forced into a life of labor, dehumanization, and suffering. In the southern states, enslaved men, women, and children worked on plantations, producing cotton, tobacco, and other cash crops that enriched their owners while denying basic human rights to those who labored in chains. In the northern states, attitudes towards slavery had been evolving. Some states had abolished the practice decades earlier, yet prejudice and inequality persisted even in the North. As the country moved toward war, it became clear that the issue of slavery could no longer be ignored. The future of the Union, and the principles upon which it was founded, depended on addressing the question of human bondage. Abraham Lincoln, elected president in 1860, faced unprecedented challenges. He assumed office at a time when the country was fracturing, when the southern states were threatening to secede, and when the very idea of a unified nation seemed fragile. Lincoln understood the gravity of the moment. He believed in the principle that all men are created equal, yet he also understood the legal and political limitations of his office. Any action he took would need to be carefully measured, deliberate, and justifiable under the Constitution. As the war progressed, Lincoln recognized that the preservation of the Union and the abolition of slavery were intertwined. A military victory alone would not suffice if the system of bondage remained intact. Slavery was both a moral evil and a practical advantage for the southern states. The labor of enslaved people fueled the Confederate war effort, providing the resources, labor, and economic stability that allowed the rebellion to endure. To weaken the Confederacy and redefine the nation's moral compass, Lincoln began planning a bold move, one that would change the course of history. In September of 1862, after the Union's strategic victory at the Battle of Antietam, Lincoln seized the opportunity. He issued a preliminary proclamation declaring that if the rebelling states did not cease their rebellion by January 1, 1863, all persons held as slaves within those states would be declared free. This preliminary declaration served both as a warning and as a symbol of hope. It made clear that the war was no longer merely about preserving the Union. It was also about the emancipation of an entire people. The announcement of the preliminary proclamation reverberated across the nation. In the North, it inspired hope and renewed commitment to the war effort. In the South, it struck fear and anger, signaling the federal government's intention to undermine the institution on which their society depended. For enslaved individuals, it represented the first tangible promise of freedom, a vision of liberation that many had longed for but had been denied for generations. As January 1, 1863 approached, tension and anticipation gripped the country. On that day, President Abraham Lincoln issued the official Emancipation Proclamation. The document declared that all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free. The Emancipation Proclamation was more than a military directive. It was a moral statement, a revolutionary declaration that challenged centuries of entrenched oppression. It fundamentally altered the legal and social landscape of the nation. While it did not immediately free all enslaved people, it transformed the character of the Civil War, shifting the fight from one solely to preserve the Union to a struggle for human liberty. The immediate impact of the proclamation was profound. thousands of enslaved individuals began fleeing to Union lines, seeking protection and asserting their newfound status as free people. African Americans joined the Union Army in unprecedented numbers, fighting courageously for the cause of freedom. Their participation not only bolstered the Union's military strength, but also redefined the meaning of citizenship and national identity. The proclamation also had a global resonance. It signaled to the world that the United States, even in the midst of civil conflict, was taking a stand for human rights. European nations, particularly Britain and France, took notice, altering their diplomatic calculations regarding recognition of the Confederacy. The moral authority of the Union was strengthened, and the fight against slavery gained international legitimacy. Lincoln's decision was not without controversy. Critics questioned its constitutionality, its timing, and its practical effect. Southern leaders dismissed it as propaganda. Some Northern politicians worried it would prolong the war or alienate moderates. Yet Lincoln remained steadfast, guided by principle and the recognition that decisive action was necessary to reshape the nation and secure the promise of freedom. The Emancipation Proclamation also laid the groundwork for the 13th Amendment, which would permanently abolish slavery throughout the United States. It transformed the Civil War into a struggle for justice, equality, and human dignity. By linking the preservation of the Union with the cause of emancipation, Lincoln redefined the moral purpose of the nation and set a precedent for future generations. The legacy of the Emancipation Proclamation extends far beyond its immediate military and political effects. It inspired generations of activists, reformers, and ordinary citizens to continue the struggle for civil rights. The document remains a symbol of courage, leadership, and the enduring power of moral conviction. Its issuance demonstrates that even in the darkest times, a determined leader can alter the course of history and offer hope to the oppressed. Today, the Emancipation Proclamation stands as a testament to the transformative power of justice and the enduring human desire for freedom. It reminds us that freedom is not a gift to be granted lightly, but a right to be defended and claimed. It teaches that leadership, vision, and moral courage can create lasting change, even amid conflict and uncertainty. As we reflect on this moment, we see the faces of those who suffered under bondage, the soldiers who fought for their liberation, and the leaders who dared to act in the face of enormous risk. The story of the Emancipation Proclamation is not just a story of a document or a president. It is the story of a nation striving to live up to its highest ideals.
Following the issuance of the Emancipation Proclamation, the Union Army began to transform in ways that would have been unimaginable just months earlier. African American men, previously enslaved or living under the constant threat of bondage, now found themselves able to enlist in the fight for their own freedom and for the survival of the nation. Their courage and resilience added a moral dimension to the war effort, and their presence reshaped the Army's composition, tactics, and spirit. By mid-1863, thousands of African Americans had joined the Union forces. Regiments such as the 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry became emblematic of this new reality. These men faced not only the dangers of combat, but also prejudice and unequal treatment within the Army itself. Yet, their determination to fight for justice, liberty, and equality propelled them forward, and their valor on the battlefield earned both respect and recognition. The involvement of African American soldiers also had a profound effect on the southern states. Plantation owners and Confederate officials watched as the very people they had enslaved gained the skills, confidence, and determination to fight back. This shift created fear and uncertainty among the Confederacy, highlighting the transformative power of the proclamation beyond the battlefield. Meanwhile, the proclamation began to reshape the social and political discourse in the North. Abolitionists and reformers found renewed energy in advocating for equality, while politicians debated the implications of extending freedom across all rebelling states. The document served as a catalyst for change, compelling the nation to confront the realities of slavery and the moral imperatives of liberty. The proclamation also influenced international perspectives. Countries around the world observed the Union's stance on slavery, and diplomatic calculations shifted accordingly. Nations that had considered recognizing the Confederacy now hesitated, understanding that the moral legitimacy of the Southern Rebellion was increasingly untenable. The Emancipation Proclamation became not only a domestic turning point, but also a statement to the world about the values that the United States claimed to uphold. For those who had lived in bondage, the proclamation was a symbol of hope and a tangible promise of a new life. Families separated by slavery began to seek reunification, and individuals risked their lives to reach Union lines. Their stories, though often undocumented, represent the lived experience of freedom taking root in a land long defined by oppression. The road to full emancipation, however, remained long and uncertain. The proclamation applied only to rebelling states and did not immediately free all enslaved individuals. The story of the Emancipation Proclamation is, at its core, the story of America striving to live up to its highest ideals. It challenges us to remember the sacrifices, to honor the courage of those who fought and suffered, and to recognize that the principles of freedom, equality, and human dignity are the foundation of a just society. Through this document, Lincoln and the countless individuals affected by it left a legacy that continues to shape our nation, inspire leaders, and remind humanity of the enduring power of moral courage. In the end, the Emancipation Proclamation stands as a beacon, guiding not only a nation, but the conscience of the world. It exemplifies the enduring truth that freedom, justice, and equality are not static concepts, but living ideals requiring constant vigilance, commitment, and courage. Its legacy endures in the hearts and minds of all who cherish liberty, a testament to the power of one act to change the course of history forever.